Good morning. What did we talk about yesterday with that saying? Talked a little bit about that word, morning. So I'm going to say welcome. Welcome to today's broadcast, today's Global Harmonization. Appreciate you being here and taking the time to get centered, get in harmony, get in flow, get in time, so that your day moves with fun, ease, and grace. I hope that it has been so already. It's a Sunday morning. I'm shooting here, and beautiful. Another beautiful day in paradise. Another beautiful day in paradise. So today I was going to just talk about two things. We got a full moon that actually started at its fullest, I should say, at 1:33 in the morning last night. So technically today's Sunday, and this full moon energy is sweeping through. Started quite a bit yesterday and will be throughout the day today and certainly into tomorrow. You may even feel it a little bit longer. Now, what does the full moon mean? What's the effects of it? It depends on who you talk to. I remember being younger when I was a kid. I was very much into the sciences, and I liked when the spiritual stuff got disproved by some kind of science, or at least proved or disproved. I didn't really have an agenda of which one was the case. As long as science had an answer for things, I felt comfortable. And I remember watching a show on, can the full moon actually change behavior? And the show began with about 10 minutes of different statistics showing how arrest rates are higher on a full moon, how hospitals get busier on a full moon. Most of it was all fear-based stuff. Things happen on a full moon. And they just were listing off all this evidence of these things happen when there's a full moon. And then they brought a science person on, and they talked about the gravitational pull of the full moon. And the example they gave was, when it's a full moon, the difference in gravitation on your body or my body is about the amount of gravitational pull as a pea, about 6 inches over one's head. Just a pea, a little green pea. And therefore, the moon has no effect whatsoever on you. And that's what their standing was. So if a pea doesn't affect you, having a pea over your head doesn't affect you, the moon doesn't affect you. And I bought into that. I bought into that for many years before I started watching tidal charts and noticing how the moon changes the tides, how the moon changes how much water is brought up onto the shore. Big supermoons. When I was in Miami, we'd take the whole beach away. It was we had a beach that was 100 meters long to all of a sudden a beach that could barely fit beach chairs on it. And the new moon would come and the water would be way out. And the full moon would come, water would come way up, and the supermoons would come up even farther and take the whole beach away. And the body is 60 to 75% water, depending on the stage of life you are, how hydrated you are. So there's certainly a tug going on by the moon. And I might say in my later years, learning more about spirituality and energetics. And good morning, August. Good morning, Dion. Great to see you here. The cycle of the moon has a meaning to it. There is a purpose behind it. There is a divine order in the cosmos. And now when I look at the way the planets move, I think more of watch gears. And certain things are happening, and when they pass certain points, it will move a hand. It will change a new vortex. It will create a new opening. And the full moon is one of those pieces that regulate the way our life is lived, just like having approximately 12 hours of light, 12 hours of dark, depending on where you live, right? Depending on the angle of the sun or angle of the earth towards the sun, you're going to have this range. And those cycles change the operation of human. Even in places that have experienced a lot of sun deprivation, they notice that depression goes up in those areas. So just the light of the sun makes a change. So full moon has a light, like the whole night is lit up. So there's another energy being measured there. Another thing that I noticed in the full moon was how things seem to come to surface, whether it's emotions that I've been hiding or physically, like if I have something under my skin, it will start coming to the surface. That's when I normally will get a little bit of acne. It's like the full moon comes and these things start to rise to surface. So that full moon is bringing things out. It's illuminating things, even at nighttime. There's so many levels of metaphors that we could go on with the full moon. So today being the full moon, and most of you I know are probably well aware of this. This is just another reminder. Just look for the things that are being brought to light over this time period. What keeps coming up into awareness? What keeps happening? What's the pattern that keeps happening today? That's happened, started yesterday, continues in today and tomorrow. What's being brought to, what was I missing prior to this engagement of this full moon coming up, where I can literally see at night, and with the super moon, I can see almost as good as with the sun. So I can see in times of darkness. It's a cool little parallel to look at that way. And the only other thing I'm going to say about the full moon is when we start looking at the cycles of the moon, we've moved to a 13-month calendar, like what the Mayans used. And the introduction of the Gregorian calendar was actually to rattle, not only did the length of the year change with the Gregorian calendar, they also changed at some point the name of the days. So the days are misordered. Monday was Moon Day, just like Sunday is Sunday. They weren't back to back the way that they are now. And each day had some kind of meaning to it. And you can learn about this in Agiic Gnostic wisdom. If you want to look at the meanings of the day, I'm sure you could just YouTube it and get them all. It's been so many years. So I'm not going to guess and get them wrong. However, those two I remember firmly. Each day had a purpose. And Monday was to worship the moon. Sunday was to worship the sun. And with this Gregorian calendar introduction, it was to take us off beat. It was take us from being in time, in sync with nature, to actually get us into a state where, for lack of a better term, a state of slavery, where we're not in time. We're always trying to be in time. And instead, we're on time. We're hustling to be on time instead of actually just being in time, in the flow with things. So the whole calendar that's being used by humanity is one of the things that's creating this matrix where there's a bit of more imprisonment, more out of alignment. So you as an individual, it's up to you to transcend that. And through the global harmonization, you absolutely can do that. And whatever practices you got there. So that's my take on the moon for about as much time as we have here. Now look at the Gregorian calendar, look at those days on your own time. And just to drop in for all you empaths, because I have it here in the notes that I was going to discuss this. And maybe we'll go more on this. So to be an empath, to have empathy means that you can actually connect and read energy. And I think as a result of this whole state of the way mankind was, at least in my upbringing for the last 40 years, And it's becoming less this way, I should say. In the past, it was very much that scientific that I was talking about from the beginning here, the scientific base, and that has to be proven, peer study, and so forth. These energies that you can pick up on from other people, that makes you empathic. Like if you walk into a room and you can feel like people are fighting, you have a certain level of empathy. I think pretty much everybody has a degree of it. You might walk into a nightclub and you can feel the vibe and you're like, oh my gosh, this place is jamming. You walk into another nightclub, you might be like, get me out of here. They might even play the same exact song, right? You feel the vibe. That's an empathy, right? That's what empathy is, to be able to connect and read to energy. But because there wasn't a great education around this for most of us, at least for me, and I've seen this happen for a lot of people, so I'd like to bring it to awareness. It doesn't mean, just because you can connect to that energy, it doesn't mean you have to take it in, and it doesn't mean you have to care. If you walk into a room where a couple was fighting, it doesn't mean that now you've got to join in the fighting, take a side, be part of any of it, right? So that's kind of like a no-brainer. I think most people know I'm not going to get involved in this couple's business. However, this is also the case with your own partner, your own friend, or somebody you're working with, or that person that just flipped you off directly, right? Like somebody goes like this, like that's anger, right? Like, whoa, why would you do that? It doesn't mean you have to take on that energy. So being an empath, it's such a gift. It's just also remembering to be able to put up that I don't want to say wall, but put up that little bit of separation to say that's that over there, and I'm not going to be infected. I can read it, I can see it, I can taste it, I can smell it, but I ain't going to eat it. I'm not going to become that energy. And I think this is important around the full moon because energies are much higher, and you may see people acting out. They're acting out, right? Being drawn out by this full moon energy. Because the thing is, if I start to take on that energy with me, then I become that. I become that energy. I become more like that energy. And I think this is really to the point where the stories of like the singing sirens, or even Medusa, where like you looked at the singing sirens, the sailors would fall in love with those singing sirens, and so in love that they would go see them, they would crash their boats and die, because they were falling in love. They were taking on the energy of these singing sirens, not realizing what was happening, being manipulated. Or Medusa, looking at her face, just by looking at her face, I would take on an energy so much that I would turn to stone. That was the story. And I think this says quite a bit about how this works with taking on the energy of others. So I love the empathy. I love being able to leverage my empathy and be able to measure things and have this energy and know what is that I'm radiating and vibing, right? So at the end of a harmonization, being filled with love, even coming into these harmonizations nowadays, but even more so at the end, being filled and blasting love to the whole world. Every empath is going to be able to feel that energy, and they can choose to take on that energy and amplify it and move it on and pass it forward. Or they can choose to ignore it. Some people will completely miss it and it will hit them, and without their awareness, it will hit them, and they'll just have a pep in their step for the hour you're standing next to them or the 10 minutes you're there. So always be discerning, I guess, is really the idea. You don't have to be compassionate. You don't have to join in the suffering of others. I think if you join in the suffering of others, then you're not going to be able to be radiating the vibes that you are, where I would say be illuminate, be like a co-illumination. Co-illumination is a word that we invented the other day with my friend Kenneth, of just making sure that I'm holding the light, I'm holding the love in my heart, and bringing people to that. And instead of going down into the story about all the pain and discomfort that they're in, and why this is so hard or so challenging, and what all the problems are, and whose fault it is out there, instead holding that energy and using this empathy, this as a means to transfer positive energy. And that may mean letting them vent it out, but don't get attached to it. Don't become one with them, with it, and get into the gripe session. Instead, hold the vibe high. Hold the vibe high and allow them to come up. All ships raise with the tide, right? So be the tide that raises the vibe, expands the vibe of love, of freedom, of empowerment, of courage, of greatness, of kindness, whatever it is that you feel your essence is. I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm just throwing some things out here. And you might even feel your essence is to be anger and bring everyone down. Like, if that's you, then I'll probably see you over there and not next to me, right? Because that's just not my vibe. So, and you're welcome to whatever your vibe is. No judgment on it. So use this empathy that you already have to project out, knowing that everybody has empathy, the vibration that you would like to see in the world. This is like truly being the change in the world. You become into that. You step into it. You have the belief, you have the understanding, you have the faith, you have the beingness of this higher vibration of what it's like to feel so much love and gratitude in your heart, so much freedom and courage, and amplifying and giving that to everyone. Just share it with everyone. Just share it with anyone around you. And you don't even have to do it with words. It can just be the vibration from the heart. So, empaths, you got a mission. You can feel energy very clearly. Doesn't mean you got to take it on. You can reflect it back, which usually result in a little bit of a disrupt because people don't like when negative energy is reflected back at them, right? But then you can be prepared for that. Knowing that I'm going to just repeat back every single word this person said in the tone that they said it to me. So, why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Where are you going? Where are you going? Like, and doing it in the same exact tone that you heard it in, and the person will hear it. That's one way to do it. Another way is to lead with a little bit more love. And we can talk about that another time. Let's get into harmonization here. So hop into whatever position. I mean, this is really powerful stuff for those of you that sit through this and clear out the energy. So just start rolling the shoulders, open it up a little bit. Maybe roll in the neck. Each direction. Just begin breathing. And we're going to do something we did yesterday that really works well standing. It works pretty darn good sitting too. Just slowly roll the head down and roll spine vertebra by vertebra. Just breathe as you roll everything down slowly. We're going to make our spine so perfectly straight. So when you get to the bottom, the very bottom vertebra, just imagine a zipper on the bottom being pulled up by a string that's going to straighten you up one vertebra at a time. If you have another method, feel free to use it. And make sure that string is pulled all the way up to the sky. Sitting in my robe here. And notice how you're a bit taller than you were before, and there's space between every vertebra. Back straighter. Make sure the chin is tucked, neck is long. And just breathing into the belly. Just checking in on the energetic field within. Noticing whatever vibration I'm putting out in the world is. Inviting the powers of this full moon to draw all to my awareness. Bringing the attention to the breath flowing through. Noticing the calm that comes with the breath. Bringing the breath into the heart, invoking the spirit, the voice of the spirit coming through the heart. In the space, just my own presence. Using each breath to give life. Appreciating each breath. Each breath flowing through the heart begins to vibrate the energy I hold in my heart. Allowing the heart to reconcile anything, to clear any energy, using the full moon to release any of this energy. Creating the vacuum for the new to present itself. One with oneness, whole with wholeness. Feeling the freedom within. Projecting it without. Bringing the hands to prayer position in front of the heart, pressing them together, exhaling, inhaling, pressing those hands together. Noticing the expansion within. Exhaling, keeping that expanded space open while exhaling out all of the air. On the top of the next inhale, going to Om together to open up that throat chakra. May you speak the truth, shine the light, and live the life. Share and be the love. Walk in a divine state all your moments, all your days. Lowering the hands down. Just feeling the energy of the body beginning to come back. Leaving with peace, courage, love. Thank you all for being here. God bless every one of you. Great to see everybody on here. Haven't said hello to you yet, Shelly and David. Great to have you all as part of this. And look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow at same place, 7:30. God bless you. And we'll see what's coming up next. I got some ideas for what we can do. If you have any suggestions, any ideas, feel free to message me. And love to hear your take. Have a great day.